What's going on out there, junkies? It's Kinshiro. We're back with another great episode of Culture Junkies Live. So, obviously, if you haven't seen out there, last week was dropped all the episodes of Fallout, and it has been heralded as a great adaptation to an actually great, video game. But during its release, because of the way it's been released, there's been a little bit more of a kick up about, binging versus weekly releases. So we kind of want to talk about that because X-Men 97 came out again this week and has another fire episode. But before we get to all of that, bring on the show with me as always, my great friends, the great Adikuji and GQ. What's up, fellas?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back again.
Hey.
Mention to the other Steve.
What's up to everybody in
the other
chat?
Steve is just re-upped for 35 months now.
Oh my!
Yeah, closing in on a 3
so
years.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
appreciate that.
This is Amrock in the chat as well. King Amrock himself in the chat. Big Preem in the
Cannon's
chat.
there.
Marcus 864 in the chat.
Cannon is there, yes, sir. All the people is there. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate your punctuality and being on time. So we can talk about everything too, because when you guys get in here on time and we can actually get this ball rolling, it's even better. First things first, I guess there's a couple of things that kind of caught my attention a little bit today. One being that there's this TMNT roguelike that is coming to in Nintendo Switch. It used to be a mobile game on I think it was on iOS devices, on Apple devices only, but it just came out or there was I guess there was a Nintendo thing that came out yesterday or something like that.
I did not see any Nintendo news, so this is news to me.
Is news to you? Apparently the game Apple Arcade only, Preem says, which is Apple's Game Pass. And but apparently, it looked pretty cool. But roguelikes, they get my attention anyway because I enjoy those types of games.
Except for the Binding of Isaac.
Except for the Binding of Isaac. You're all right.
That game will eat you up and spit you out. You don't have no hope.
Hey, you don't know that. 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 It's Matt, please. I like a challenge.
In other Nintendo news, Mario versus Donkey Kong came out recently.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So is this a harkening back to the old Donkey Kong arcade games?
I don't know. It looks like it's just, it's the newest Mario game.
Which I believe they've done before. Mario versus Donkey Kong is not a new series. It may have come out on like Game Boy back in the day, Game Boy Advance, one of those two. I don't really know. It is, I think, a kind of a puzzly type platformer. It's not quite Donkey Kong. It's not quite Mario. It's its own thing. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about trying to find this game. Splintered Fate. That's the name of the game. And here is the trailer.
Some pizza because the Teenage Mutant.
I put it on pause so you can't really see it, but here's some of the gameplay right here. Hope you guys can see it.
This is the new Turtles.
Yeah, this is the roguelike Turtles game I was telling you about. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate.
It almost reminds me of Hades a little bit, and everybody said Hades.
Yes, I mean Hades is a roguelike, so
I haven't played it yet though. So.
Again, I enjoy roguelike games like this 100%. I do wonder, seeing as how like all four turtles were on there, do you control them all at once? Is they controlled by PC? Is it a co-op? Is it a co-op? I don't know enough about this game, but it looks interesting to me. Is it better than Shredder's Revenge? No, probably not. No. It's just different.
Because they've done this once before with and Dido and I were talking about this, I think a week or two ago, the Mutant Dimensions or Mutant Mayhem or whatever that game was called.
Yeah,
the PlayStation game, PS4 game rather, that suddenly is worth a lot of money. Because that and Transformers Devastation on the PS4 were made by the same company or same whatever. So it was something.
I know what you're talking about. I got it over there.
Yeah, I've got the same too. I just don't remember the full title or whatever. There's so many Turtles games.
So many turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, so that looked interesting to me. I kind of wanted to bring it to you guys' attention. If you had heard about it, get your thoughts on it, see what you thought. But another thing that has caught my attention, unfortunately, is the cancerous continued existence of one Mr. Zack Snyder. This man just will not ever go away, and every time he opens his mouth, it just makes it worse. Oh, real quick, actually, before we switch topics, Brian Cannon just said, have y'all ever beat TMNT 1 for the NAS?
No, I got
I got to the Technodrome, didn't beat it. GQ,
I beat it.
Yeah, I thought so.
I beat it.
I thought he did. I remember him saying
it was one of those. You have to get really good RNG on as to where the Technodrome is going to be, because that level to find the Technodrome is a pain in the ass. Then once you actually get inside the Technodrome, it's even more of a pain in the ass because of the jetpack laser guys. Everybody knows about the jetpack laser guys in that one hallway where if you get blasted, you may as well just restart the entire game because you are not going to make it through. The locations for the pizza in the Technodrome are so far out of the way. It's just like, yeah, just restart.
That was one of them. Yeah, that was one of them games where it was almost, I won't say it was a requirement to have the game Genie, but definitely would have made your life a whole lot easier. 100%.
Well, again, that was one of those things where back in the day, when some of y'all youngsters don't know this, games required you to actually be good at playing games.
Right.
The damn level separated the men and women from the boys and girls. Yeah, the damn level was just like, look, this is your litmus test. Either you're gonna get past this level and be able to beat the game eventually, or you're never gonna pick this game up again.
Exactly.
I can tell you got past that
swimming. Yeah, the damn level made so many people rage quit because you hated it. You hated it. You hated everything
forced
about
you to get good.
It did. It did force you to get good. You're right about that. But anyway, back to Zack Snyder. So Snyder's in the news again. So you know if he's in the news, he must be talking about something he's getting ready to come out. And Rebel Moon Part 2 is getting ready to drop. And in the rounds of promotion, people keep asking him these questions about previous projects, which obviously includes, the DC Extended Universe. One of the things he said is he would love to make an animated continuation of his Justice League. Now, first of all, how ridiculous would it be for us to continue his dark, palette challenged DC universe in an animated form? Like, who's going to do it? First of all, Warner Brothers will never give him another dime. Let's get past that. He's done. He's dead to them. But why would outside of the Snyder cult, would anyone really want to see an animated continuation of his Justice League?
I mean, I personally would have liked to see what they would have done with a solo Batman movie. And I rather would have seen it live action than animated, to tell you the truth, because though he has his flaws in the way he does certain things, I just wish the whole entire thing would have been told better. I wish they would have built up to Batman versus Superman. I wish they would have built up to Justice League and, got their solo movies and what have you. I kind of wish they would have did that. I wish they had, and it sucks to say it did a little bit more Marveling on it, because Marvel, though we don't know exactly the big game plan, and maybe there was from the beginning and maybe there was not, but they just did it. Like, we put this movie out there. Okay, the movie's done. It's its own movie. And then in the after credit scene, we added a Lego brick. And we don't know where that is going to get connected to. We don't know what's going to get connected to,
but it's just there. But it's there. Right.
So then somebody, because none of the same writers, I won't say none of there's probably more than likely out of all the movies, not very many writers wrote on all the same movies unless it was in the same series of said movie. So you don't have an Iron Man writer writing for Thor, maybe. But the people wrote their movies. They connected the things as they tried to, and then they put out something that was just darn near amazing. And they all they had to do was follow the recipe. It was kind of there for them a little bit. I mean, not really, kind of, but we didn't get that. So I could. Would I watch it? Probably, because I like to watch whatever. But I don't know. I know they're not going to pay any money for it. They canceled Batgirl.
Right. Well, the other thing, the other thing that he said is that he wants to. He hated Sucker Punch, and he wants to make it a director's cut to it. Now, mind you, this is the same man that wants to make a director's cut of his cut of the Justice League and to make it 4 hours and then slow-mo the shit out of it. He also did a director's cut to Rebel Moon, a movie that he had full complete control over with no real time limits, and decided he wanted to make a director's cut anyway. This man has a problem. GQ, what do you think his problem is?
The issue is, now again, Justice League is a special case, huge extenuating circumstances as to why he did not finish his version originally. So I'll give him a pass on that. Wanting to go back and do the Snyder cut, I get it. For Sucker Punch, I liked Sucker Punch because it was different. It was a very
music video.
I don't know. Yeah, it was definitely a music video. But I mean, But the thing is, I liked the idea of the fantasy world. Now, granted, you're sitting there wondering what the hell are they looking at when she's going through this weird interpretive dance? Because it's like they made it seem as if they were there too somehow. But I enjoyed that film. They had a good, likable look, cast to look at, as far as the ladies were concerned, and. Oscar Isaac, that was the first time I'd ever seen him, and he did his thing. So I enjoyed the film. Now, I don't know what you're going to do for a director's cut of that unless he just has so much footage that he didn't use, because you're definitely not going to go back and remake that movie because,
reshoots.
Exactly. Reshoots like 20 some odd years later. But I don't know. I mean, I look at it in the sense of I don't mind directors because we're all victim of it with Lucas. Lucas went back and fiddled with Star Wars from the beginning, and he fiddled with it all the way up until he sold it. So it's like, it's their creation. If they feel that there's more that they can add to it, cool. It is very much against the whole, measure twice, cut once type of mentality. But, Lucas, his reason for going back to redoing Star Wars is he wanted to add what he was not able to add because of technological limitations.
Which you understand.
So who knows? Maybe Snyder has some of the same things with Sucker Punch. Because Sucker Punch is a 20-year-old movie at this point, and CG and everything has definitely changed.
No way. It ain't been 20 years, right?
Hey, Google,
20 years.
When did Sucker Punch come out?
In the United States of America, Sucker Punch came out on March 25th, 2011.
No, it's not 20 years. 2011.
Thank you, Google. Yeah,
feels like 20.
Yeah, it does
feels like 20.
Not only that, you have to also remember, back in 2011, CG is very different than it is now. CG goes up by leaps and bounds.
Didn't that movie already have copious amounts of slow-mo? Isn't this just another excuse for him to slow-mo even more?
I have to go back and watch it.
That movie needed slow-mo for what they were doing. Here's the thing. I give him credit. He was doing anime stuff before it became cool to do anime stuff in film.
That's true. I'll give him credit. I'll give him credit for that. No, that part is true. But
maybe he should have.
I wish someone would stick a fork in this guy, because man, he just.
I mean,
he's not nearly as good as he's made out to be.
I liked the Rebel Moon. I didn't think it was that bad. I like science fiction, and granted, it was nothing really new. But
there it is, right there. Fallen Mar was 100% right. Snyder has delusions of grandeur. He believes his own hype to a fault. 1,000%. Moving on to something that's actually good and kind of moves us towards our topic of the day. X-Men 97, another great episode. Just a quick review. Life Death Part 2, and we also got to see the long-awaited return of Mr. Charles Xavier and Lilandra and all the stuff going on in Shi'ar space. What did you guys think of this episode compared to the last one where we left off on?
Want to go first?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I of course I enjoyed it. I don't quite understand the sister. She just like is annoying, and I don't quite. You're the goddamn empress. Why
Deathbird, man.
why isn't your what you're saying is like, no, this is what we're gonna do. Shut the heck up. Gag her, get her out of here. Like she just no, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna give it up, and you're gonna do, and you're, and I'm just like, Lalandra, aren't you the power?
They're like Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
You can challenge for the throne. You can battle it out. Like they are very warlike, and it's like, yes, she's the empress, but there's still tradition that is she can't even change. And one of their traditions is the challenge.
Yep.
And Deathbird relishes the challenge.
She loves that shit. Loves that shit, man. Look, man. That's Deathbird to a fault, brother. Look, Lalandra is that it's always that trope, right? You've got the kind-hearted sister. You've got the ambitious, antagonistic sister. That is Lalandra and Deathbird, one to one. Lalandra always wants to be kind. She wants to be, get along, and that's why she hasn't put Deathbird in the Shi'ar equivalent of the Hague yet. Is because she loves her sister and she wants to get along with everybody. Whereas other people, she knows what Deathbird is. She knows that she's up to no good. She called it out right there in the middle of the episode. Yeah. She's like, I know what she wants to do. I know what she's trying to do. You can't let her do this.
Hey, get out of here.
Pretty much. I mean, don't forget, and not only that, according to the story, she just got out of a fight with her other brother, the Ken, who from the Phoenix saga. So I guess it's like she's trying to hold it together, because otherwise she's gonna have to either kill off or throw her entire family in jail or whatever. So
yes, that's it in a nutshell. But a couple of Easter eggs that you saw in there, obviously. One is a current member of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard that is definitely going to come back later. I don't want to spoil it for people that don't read comics, but yeah, it's a pretty important character that's there on the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. That probably will what I'm really impressed by. I'm very impressed by this show. More so than the original show, pulling from the comic book source. And they're showing it every single week with the cameos that they have, how they're writing their characters and stuff like that. I just think I'm really impressed by the writing in this show. Very good, very, very good stuff. What'd you think of Charles Xavier's voice actor compared to the original guy?
If he can say Lalandra,
right. I need to hear him scream. I really need to hear him scream. Like that's the test right there. If you can get that you get that going real good.
I love it. I love it. Yes,
Xavier, right there. That's all I need. He didn't get a huge chance to do it this time. He had one little moment where it was kind of shocking and what happened
that part at the end,
but it's like I need to hear his full on pain astral plane torture scream. I need to hear that. Once we get that, honestly, exactly. Brian Krantz 100%. He has not yelled the power yet. Once he yells the power, once we get that, and if he's good at it, that's my Xavier. I'm good.
Yes, I love it. Honestly, it's not fair that the new Jean voice actor never had. Well, she's been put in a few situations where she had to play the whole fainting part that Jean is famous for doing. But like, I think you had it in the very first episode. You had it there. Did you have it in any other parts in the series?
You had it when
Jean actually
returned. When she returned and they had their little battle, she fainted like immediately thereafter.
Yeah.
That's how you know it was the real Jean, because the real Jean fainted.
That's how you know it was the real Jean.
Madeline did not.
Madeline didn't faint. Yeah, she was standing there like getting stuff done. I'm like, that's not Jean.
That's not Jean.
Yeah. As soon as she came in, little something here, and then just passed out. Like, okay, that's Jean. So,
all right. So the other half of this episode had to deal with Storm and Forge and resolving that storyline. What'd you make of that one? that part.
I like the fact that they touched on her claustrophobia, which we all know that she has.
Yes,
she was fighting. She was fighting so hard to not show it the first time. What happened. I was like, oh, they're gonna really dig into that because she's trying to like not show that weakness in front of this demon entity or whatever it was. But when they got into that cave, it's like, oh, you're screwed. But that, I like that catalyst. She dug in, found her inner power. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. And do you feel like it was a little bit of a cop out, is that the executioner's weapon was more or less like a mental block more than anything else? Do you feel like that was a convenient resolution to that whole deal?
Go ahead, D, if you got one.
I don't know. Maybe Forge's invention worked and it just took its time.
I guess maybe, but it felt like it was a little bit too easy, too convenient.
It might have been, but like it just could have worked. And then she had to it worked, and she didn't believe that it worked because it didn't feel like it worked. And then when she got stressed, and then
it wasn't. It's like it's like doing an internet test in a lab setting versus doing an actual internet stress test in the field. It's like, you might be able to get good results in the lab when nobody's like doing anything or stressing anything, but put some pressure on that thing, see if you can really do it. And I think that's what it was required. Because to me, okay, if they're born with these powers, it's in your DNA. There's no amount of whatever is going to blast you and take away your DNA. At some point, those powers are going to manifest themselves again. Well, yeah, I mean, again, but she shot her with one bullet.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's like, really? You mean to tell me one bullet is going to just knock away 30 plus years of however long she's been using these powers?
Yeah.
That's that whole magic bullet thing. And again, we all know she got her powers back in the comics anyway. They're just fast tracking this stuff.
They are.
I guarantee you know how boring it would have been to have an entire season where Storm doesn't have
no powers. Yeah. 100%. I feel like a lot of this season, what we're getting a lot of this season is we're getting them to start to fast track a lot of the stuff that they weren't able to do in the 90s TV show, so that they can start to adapt a lot more of the comic book storylines as full on season story arcs, right? Because at 100% we see that Sinister is back, he's behind this one. But with Cable's appearance, with Cable's appearance last week, and with what happened to Gambit, obviously that's not necessarily a spoiler, it's out there now. What happened to Gambit, comic book readers know what's coming next. Some people that see Cable's appearance know who he's closely attached to from the 90s series and should anticipate who is coming next. So that just being said, I know what storyline that they're going to be
Oscar
pulling.
Isaacs. Did we just mention him?
Charles. Yeah.
Charles.
Now, here's the thing. That's one voice that they cannot mess up.
No, they cannot.
Apocalypse's voice is so iconic. I don't care if they got to just copy the modulation and get it. I want that Apocalypse voice.
Yes.
his little monologues were so cool.
They were so good.
Like, maybe the dude is still alive. Hopefully the dude is still alive.
Yeah, if you don't get that,
again, he might be. I don't know. I know his voice was modulated or obviously altered back then. Just bring it right back to that same cadence, that same tone and everything. I think that'd be awesome.
Can you not do that while we're doing the show? The whole ripping of the bag and stuff like that. If you're gonna do that, can you at least mute the mic? Can you show people what you're building?
No, show them when I'm done.
All right.
It's going to make some noise.
Please
be prepared.
Please don't rustle the bags. This isn't an ASMR video. Please don't rustle the bags.
You love those ASMR videos.
I do not. You
be watching.
Do not put that on me. Oh, don't do that. Disgusting. Don't do
wow. Eat the mic. Eat the mic.
Eat the mic. Yes, indeed. All right. So let's talk about this. The last thing, and then we'll move on. Since when Brian Cannon, have y'all noticed the intro doesn't show certain X-Men? Yes.
It changes every week.
It changes practically every week, and that is definitely on purpose, and it certainly plays into something that the 90s show didn't really touch on much. The roster of X-Men changes constantly. Constantly in the comics. Yes, in the old comics in the 60s, you had one roster, and then back in the when they revamped it in the 70s,
giant size X-Men.
It had giant size X-Men, and you had Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Colossus, and the newer X-Men and Storm and stuff like that. But after that, say probably from Jim Lee's revolution of it, the roster of the X-Men has changed constantly. And they're starting to get to that. I love the inclusion of Nightcrawler in intro this week, even though we didn't get to see him. But but the removal of Magneto and Gambit and stuff like that was kind of pretty big stuff.
Well, I think what they're doing is they brought Nightcrawler into an episode last week. So it's one of those, because a lot of people, if you go back to the original Justice League, one of the Justice League cartoons, I think it was Unlimited, they used to show spoilers in the intro or the outro as well.
You're right.
People complained about that. They were like, why are you showing us stuff we haven't seen? We want to just see it when it comes.
When it happens, yeah.
And so it's like, I think what they're doing with X-Men is like, okay, we saw Nightcrawler last week, now let's throw him in the intro, versus putting him in the intro. It's like, oh, Nightcrawler's going to be in this episode, So I think I see what they're doing. Plus, they're being one of the only shows that gives you a reason to not skip the intro.
Yep, haven't skipped it once.
Yeah, that's true.
Haven't skipped it once. Give me those feels, 90s feels.
All right, so before we get to the main topic, actually, I want to transition Wolverine Solid X, who is in the chat, by the way, saying what's up to him. He just completed a new movie. And we kind of wanted to play the trailer for you. So let's pull that up, and I'll turn the sound on and you guys can hear it. So here's Wolverine Solid X's production, The Ride to Heaven.
Well, you better mute it so we don't get copyright strike. No, I'm just joking. The schmeck.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, congrats to Wolf on that. I'm not 100% sure what the movie is about, but seeing that it's going to be on Tubi is a good thing, because my man in the wife beater, he straight up looked like somebody that was right on Tubi. Did he look like one of the dudes off of the Coney? He did to me.
A little bit.
He did
that's because like you said, locally shot. Wolf did a lot, basically most of the work on his own. Essentially, I helped him with some of it, and he put his heart and soul into it. So I appreciate that. It's going to be obviously, like you saw in the teaser, it's going to be available. I'm not available. Excuse me. It's going to be premiering this Friday at 6:30. Yep, at the Riviera.
I don't know. That was Farmington Hills.
Yeah, that's Farmington Hills. Yep.
Technically, yes, it is.
Yeah, and then so that's going to be there. He's doing 2 showings, $10. Is the entry. And then I talked to him a little bit earlier. He said it's going to be coming soon to Tubi and some of the other streaming services. So I mean, obviously, you get the chance to see it at the theater first, and then it'll be on streaming after. So
cool.
Congratulations to them on that.
Congrats to him. 100%. How long has it been in production? I would love to hear from
that you'd have to ask him on that, because I know he had been working on it on and off last year, and then into some of this year as well. So
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I appreciate people that, they put their money where their mouth is. They're like, hey, I want to do something, and then they get out there and do it. So
Yeah.
you said
get
two
out
and a half
there and
years.
fucking do it.
2.5 years.
Yep.
I applaud you, bro.
2.5 years. Yeah.
So
congratulations to you, my friend.
Definitely applaud you.
Best wishes and best of luck to you.
And I will be watching it when it comes on Tubi. I am not going to be able to make it to the theater, unfortunately. Sorry.
Yeah. So understandable.
Yep.
I'm sure GQ will be there. So
yeah. I'm definitely gonna be out there for
Represent.
the 8:30 show. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be out there for the 8:30 show. Check that out, and obviously, show my support and everything. And it's all love. We all from same state, same city, basically. So hey,
gotta
support each other.
Support each other 100%.
Big
Just
time.
like you supported us over the years when doing our podcast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So moving right along, back to what the main topic was supposed to be about: is binging bad for entertainment? The reason I bring this up is because we know that Fallout released last week, we should say, and released all the episodes of Amazon Prime have been received very, very well. The reviews have been extremely positive and probably the most positive of any video game adaptation not named Super Mario Brothers movie. Honestly, I mean, really, it has been received very well. So much so that all the entire lineup of Fallout games have seen an uptick in playing on the Steam server.
Wow.
Except for Fallout 76.
Really?
Maybe
Something
even that.
wrong with that one?
I think maybe even that. A lot of people didn't really,
A lot of people did not like that one.
They did not like that one. I haven't played Fallout, so I wouldn't know. Honestly, Fallout is a show that I was very much looking forward to based off of this trailer. Similar to Halo, the TV series. I enjoy Halo, the TV series. Other people don't really like it because they feel like it takes few liberties with canon. That's neither here nor there. That's not what this discussion is about. What this is about is that is Fallout going to remain in the talking in the public conscience?
The water cooler.
The water, exactly, water cooler. Because look at contrasted with something like what we just talked about, X-Men 97. X-Men 97 seemingly every week since its release has had that water cooler moment that makes people continuously start to talk. Now, for me, this week didn't necessarily have a water cooler moment for me personally, but that doesn't mean that other people didn't. Actually, I take that back. One water cooler moment I would love to talk about is something I wanted to talk about but didn't, is how the hell did Storm get all that damn hair back? That's one thing I wanted to talk about, but I digress. New outfit, basically new / old outfit, and all of her hair, including the headdress. How? I don't know. Maybe she really is a goddess.
You said it yourself. It was a magical girl transformation.
Yes,
and magical girl transformation defies all physics and
all
everything
logic.
else. All logic.
All
out the window.
100%. But anyway, X-Men 97 keeps getting talked about, and will Fallout be talked about after this week?
Maybe, but I think the water cooler analogy probably isn't as relevant anymore because the audience and people have kind of shifted. You definitely had water cooler talk for stuff like Mandalorian, maybe even WandaVision for a lot of people. And that was what, 2, maybe 3 years ago now?
Yeah.
For most of those. COVID changed a lot of the game in the sense of how people interact with each other, and a lot of the quote unquote water cooler talk is getting done through reactions, and you're not really getting people like, now granted we do a show where we clearly are doing the water cooler talk, but you're not getting that same interaction, I think, in the workplace, where the water cooler analogy was birthed. So there's that side of it. Also from the binging versus not binging side of it, we as fans definitely want to get it as soon as we can get it, watch it, ingest it, move on to the next, because there's so much stuff to watch.
Yes.
But I think I look at it from the creator side of things, and we mentioned this, a little bit in the pre-show. If I, as a creator, have sunk 2, maybe 3 years of my life into doing, let's say, 10, 15 episodes of a particular thing, I want people to be talking about that for at least a good couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Not they watched all of it in a week and it's flash in the pan in 2 weeks and it's done. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
it's in and out of everybody's system. Plus, from a money side of things, I'm sure as a creator they can get a little bit more money on the ads, revenue or whatever if it's stretched out a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that I kind of see it from both ways in that regard.
Yeah. And I do too, right? And this isn't, I'm not trying to say, it's never bad for the consumer to have more, right? We're talking more or less, is it bad for the industry as a whole? Because just like you said, in the pre-show, we talked about it, right? Do you want to have all of your stuff disseminated all at once, and then you have to quickly feed the consumer something else next week, or else they're going to move to something else? Or would you rather stress that out for over 15 weeks and have them talking about it for 3.5 months? I think you would prefer the 3.5 months because you stay in the social conscious, people are talking about it, and you get more. Go ahead, D.
I don't know. Like I said in our pre-show, for me personally, I want to watch it at my own pace. I really don't give two shits about, how long people are talking about it, because I work with a bunch of normies. And even the one who is the least normie of the normies doesn't watch stuff right away. Like I told him about Fallout. He was like, I didn't even know there was a Fallout show. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, okay, that's fine. I get it. So if he gets around to watching it, it may not be right away. So I got somebody who I could talk to right away with it. You guys, I got people who I could talk about it way later when he gets around to watch it, because it'll be months later. He was like, I started watching Fallout, and then I could actually start talking to him about it.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I rather look at my own pace. I don't like the week-to-week thing, mainly because I am paying for a service. It's not TV where I have to, wait every week. They're forcing us, because all these shows are already done. They're done. They literally could drop them all or what have you. And sometimes I want to watch all of it. Something's really, really good. Like, for example, I binged this show. It's called Resident Alien. It's been on for 3 seasons. I didn't start watching it until the 3rd season dropped. So I was able to binge the first 2 seasons because I felt that's the pace I wanted to watch it.
Where was that show airing? I've heard of that show, but where was it? Was it on Sci-Fi Channel? Was it on
Sci-Fi? But I'm not watching on Sci-Fi.
Does Sci-Fi still exist as a channel?
Because it says it's a Sci-Fi original. Yeah. So it's on Sci-Fi. I'm watching it. I watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix, though I could have watched all 3 seasons on Peacock, because I think that's where I got it. And for whatever reason, it's like, but now I'm on the 3rd season and I'm pacing myself because I don't think the 3rd season is done. And I don't want to week to week that, because I mean, even though I have so much stuff to watch, it shouldn't be an issue to week. But a lot of times my brain is like, I play or watch something and I want to do it all until it's done and then move on to the next one. Because that's my issue with my video games. I can't, I'm going to play this for an hour. Oh, then I'm going to play this for an hour. And then I'm going to play this for an hour. And like for the longest, I beat, what the hell did I beat? Sly Cooper, right? But Ratchet and Clank I haven't finished. But then I got Dante's Inferno that I started playing. And I haven't gone back to Elden Ring yet. And Spider-Man Miles Morales I haven't finished yet. And then I got freaking, I would like to just sit and just binge the freaking game like I do So to me, I don't think it's a big deal, because I have different people who I can talk to about it.
And I understand,
so
right?
So it gets talked about for weeks,
right? And I get it. That part I get. But then when you have like the creator of this show that came out on Netflix, I think a month or 2 ago, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. The animated version of Scott Pilgrim Takes Over versus the World. Done in animated form, and he says Netflix dropped it all at once and it was quickly forgotten about, and he spent so much time and money on that. Like GQ talked about that.
I don't think it's quickly forgotten about.
Well,
here's the
think
problem
about it like this: nobody's talking about it, and I think I heard people talking about it when it initially came out, but then quickly they moved on to something else.
I mean, that is a possibility, but the thing is that first off, Scott Pilgrim, as much as we like it, has always been it's the cult status type thing.
Yes, it's called.
Yeah. It never hit mainstream, so that's number one. A lot of stuff that comes from comic books, unless it's Marvel or fucking DC, people don't know about it. And the only reason why things that do get pushed more is because somebody says, you know what, I'm going to push the heck out of it. That's why you got The Walking Dead got pushed. That's why you got Invincible, it got pushed. That's why you got things like it. But there's been countless comic book TV shows that come and gone, and nobody, first off, know they're a comic book. And second off, the TV show might not have been good. Like Wise, the Last Man. I liked the fucking comic of that, and the series got canceled. And I watched 2 episodes, and I was like,
the series didn't last at all.
Yeah,
it really didn't. I was surprised by that. Yeah, so, it wasn't good. You're right.
Yeah, so but for Scott Pilgrim, though, it was really good, and for me, is memorable because I liked the movie. Because of the movie, I read the comics. I got the video game, and so I was excited for it. But like even that dude that I was talking about, like I don't even know. Okay. No, he did watch Scott Pilgrim, so we did talk about it, but he didn't watch it as soon as it came out. So
no, let's use another example. Maybe Scott Pilgrim is a bad one. Let's use Invincible since you brought up Invincible.
Yeah.
Invincible season 2 came out. I think it was late last year. I think it was late last year. It came out after people had been waiting for it for almost 2 years for season 2. Came out, released like 4 episodes, went on a weird hiatus for like 2 months. Lost all of its momentum, and these were weekly releases.
Yep. You want to know what
lost all its momentum, and then when it came back, people were less enthusiastic about it, and somewhat had kind of forgotten. And then the season ended just, I think, last week or the week before, and nobody's talking about it.
And I can tell you exactly why. Is that hiatus? The hiatus has kills the shows. It's not that it's dropping it all at once. It's not because Invincible was a week-to-week thing.
Yes, it was.
It was not dropped all at once, and they paused it. And when you do shit like that, momentum dies. People forget about it. There are people out there who are they're not in the swimming pool, they're not in the kiddie pool. They might be, what is that thing for little toddlers that sprinkles the water and they get the splash pad. They're in a splash pad of the realm of nerddom, right? And the water got shut off. They got cold. They wouldn't dry it off. And some of those people forget. Like you and I, we're sitting, by the pool. We're jumping in. We're having fun, diving in. Blah blah blah. But we're always wet, and I meant it that way. So for us, we're gonna keep watching that. Same thing. Pantheon. Prim brings up Pantheon, and nobody watched Pantheon at all. And I really like Pantheon. And the only thing that killed me is because of my way of watching it screwed something up. And then I forgot where it was left off, so I never finished it. So I need to go back.
Yeah. I think one of the other things you run into, and I think we may have mentioned this even once of the, a couple years back when we talked about this, there is no such thing as appointment television anymore.
Even X-Men 97?
That's not appointment. You can watch that whenever it drops. You can watch it. You don't have to be at home at 7 o'clock or whatever to watch it. Streaming basically got rid of that urgency to watch things at a set time, or to basically like you miss it, and if you miss it, you're gonna have to wait till it comes around again. If I missed it, click start over.
There is only one
or whatever.
There's only one thing that's appointment television that's technically left, and that's sports. If there's an exciting game,
not even that.
No, think about it like this, right? Because
TiVo killed that, dude. TiVo killed that. When TiVo came out and you could record live television or set it to record live television, I didn't have to. The game came on, I missed it. All right, start it over.
Yeah, that's basically my dad. You're right about that. He puts it on delay.
You are right.
Can skip through commercials.
You are correct. You are 100% correct. I relent. That's a very great rebuttal to that. You're right. There's no such thing as appointment television. So would you say, and I would love to hear from people in the comments on this too. The other Steve brings up a good point because and let's hear what they have to say. So I want everything at once so I can focus on one story, then move to the next show and focus on that story. Which I get it. I think Preem brought this up to me before pre-show. He said, if you could watch all of X-Men 97 right now, all at once, would you take it? Yes, 100% I would. As a consumer, yes, I want everything all at once. Give it to me now so I can move on to something else. If I was a
all at once.
If I was a creator and a business person and everything is about making money and keeping it in the social consciousness for as long as possible, I understand piecemealing it and stretching it out. But as a consumer, would I want it all at once? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. I saw Wolverine said, stretch it out before too. So
here's who the stretch it out model benefits besides the company. The stretch it out model benefits consumers that are reactors. Reactors need that week to week drip drop of release, because otherwise they'd be overwhelmed to do X-Men, Fallout, Halo, Invincible, all within moments of each other, because you have to be the reactor that gets it out there first.
by
Imagine trying to react
reactor.
like
By
YouTube reactors. Imagine
Okay,
being a
thank you.
YouTube reactor that has to drop Fallout, X-Men, and a couple of series within days of each other because they're all out there, versus X-Men. You can react to X-Men every single week. You got a new video every single
Yes,
week.
it's content. Yes, it's content that keeps
so
feeding.
Content creators benefit from when things are stretched out a little bit more so than straight binge. Now, granted, if they react to only a very set thing, like they only react to maybe sci-fi or they only react to movies or whatever, that's different. But if you're one of those reactors that's trying to hit all of the major shows, like, all the major hot stuff, the slower drip drop, version of release helps you as a creator. So there's arguments on all sides.
Yeah, 100%. What else? What else is out there in the chat? People talking about this topic. Is anything out there it's worth disseminating? Okay, so Preem says, if you make good content, you don't have to stretch it out, and it will remain relevant in the pop culture zeitgeist. Example being Stranger Things, arguably one of the most successful original series to exist on about any streaming platform. Okay, and an even older example from Stranger Things will be House of Cards. House of Cards kind of helped start this whole binge everything at once and get everybody talking about it. It won how many different Emmys did
YouTube
did they make? What do you mean YouTube?
Chat.
Oh, YouTube chat's
chat.
not working? Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on with our YouTube chat, man?
No, I turned it on. Don't know what's going on.
Let's see if I can salvage.
Oh, yeah, I know what's going on. Fucking okay. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, YouTubers. Sorry, YouTubers. That's
all right. Let's go back. Greetings, Hand of Omega Testing. Yes, we can hear you. Problematic. Can you make if the team of characters who you include? Okay, we can talk about it later. Zoltar the Magnificent. Benjamin is fun, but if you get if it's hard to get full impact from a story sometimes. Reflection and anticipation can be good for fans and community and deep lore. Guy Jordan. I remember when the 4400 launched, it was difficult for me to watch it because of my job back then. I hit Netflix and I binged the entire series from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Good point on Stranger Things. So yeah, it depends on the person. It most definitely depends on the person, because some people like to binge. Like I said, I like to binge. Depending on the show. I love One Piece. I don't want to watch One Piece week to week, because as we were talking earlier, after the opening and the stupid flashbacks, it's usually it's like a football game, only 11 minutes.
Yeah, I got you. But here's the funny thing, and I'm on both sides of it, honestly.
I am too.
I don't mind X-Men for what it is, because it gives me something really fun to look forward to. The first thing that I technically binged wasn't even like a streaming. This is before streaming was even a thing. I binged Smallville back when I was a truck driver, because I would watch Smallville during my mandated, federally mandated break time of you have to park and sit for 10 hours. So it was like, I got the Smallville seasons on DVD, so I just had a portable DVD player and was watching Smallville in chunks at a time, So that's how I quote unquote binge Smallville back then, because I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was always on the road.
On the road.
So it just depends. Yes, sir.
Nothing here but on the road again.
So there's obviously good and bad on both sides of it, in my opinion. It just depends on whether or not you're a content creator or a consumer that just wants to watch, or you're the company that's making the product. there's good and bad on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
most definitely.
That's true.
Most definitely. So yeah.
Well, hold on. How much time we got left? So
we got about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Just about 10 minutes.
Well, make it up to them YouTubers. I guess we can turn the power over to the people. What y'all think?
Who? We most definitely can put it to the people.
All right. Well, power to the people. Power is yours. We'll let the first question or topic come from the YouTube side of things. So y'all got that over there. I can't see it at the moment.
I can't see anything at the moment because I want to know if somebody's trying to sign in.
Yep. Except that.
Oh, that's him.
I'm trying to finish this motherfucking thing up real quick. Like I can't see what's going on, and I don't know who's doing what and what.
All right. So Prem is saying, let me just read this. As to the content creator side of things, there will always be the option to create content that has already come and gone. Think about how many stupid grifter woke videos are being made about the MCU. And that is true, but there are some content creators that pride themselves on being basically first and getting stuff out there. And this depends on the type of content creator you are. Yes, a lot of this stuff is essentially evergreen because it doesn't go away. But there's some content creators that they pride themselves on when something drops, within an hour, they've got a reaction. Yeah, they got a reaction to it. So this depends on how they are or who they are.
We got the hand Omega says he wish he could watch all the Star Trek Discovery at once. Discovery's turned out pretty good. I personally agree. So I watched the first episode to see how it is, and then I'm going to wait so I can watch it at my pace.
Is Discovery the one that Michelle Yeoh was on?
Yes. And they're making a spin-off of her, apparently, from what I hear.
Yeah, the movie Section 31 should be out later this year. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm looking
forward to that. Magnificent. I'm on both sides. Too, actually, binging is useful if you have busy or regular schedule. Dropping an episode a week is good for fandom speculation between episodes. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. The speculation and the chatter is what these companies want. They want, their company's stuff being talked about constantly, not we got a good week of conversation and now we got to hopefully get something else that they want or like. So
speaking of YouTube, just as a personal aside, congratulations to us, patting ourselves on the back for crossing the 2,000 subscribers threshold on our YouTube channel.
Hooray!
Yes, we crossed 2,000 subscribers. The next goal, one of the goals that we have for ourselves is we want to be able to have our YouTube channel finally be monetized again, and we'll be able to have super chats and Patreon. I mean, not subscribers, but members and stuff like that. We can do some really cool stuff over there on YouTube. So we would love for all of you that are joining us on over there, please come over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Culture Junkies, and give us a subscribe and watch all of our videos and stuff like that, so we can kind of make the channel grow. What was that message that guy
Guy Jordan said? What do y'all think of Tomatonga, who is Haku's son, showing up? He's basically joining the bloodline. Now it seems like there's going to be a split faction of the bloodline because so
it's gonna be the bloodline wolf pack.
So essentially, Solo, bloodline and wolf pack, right? Because Solo Sikoa just basically kick Jey Uso out, right? Wasn't that the thing that came out?
Maybe, because it's he's just a lot of people were saying it's funny that he's the one talking about losing has consequences. He's lost most of his matches. Again, disqualification, interference, storyline stuff, whatever. But so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Maybe this is now. I don't know if he's supposed to be representing Roman Reigns or not. It could be one of those things where he, as the youngest brother of the Usos, might be teaming up with Tommy Tonga, and who knows? Like you said, might be a Wolfpack thing.
Now,
that would be interesting.
Curious question for you guys, right? We know infamously that kayfabe was somewhat destroyed over the last decade, and CM Punk helped destroy it. Do you feel like with the return of The Rock and the way they've done the storylines and stuff like that, do you feel like they have somehow restored kayfabe in a way?
No,
No?
because The Rock himself breaks kayfabe when he goes and does interviews. When he did the whole thing about Cody Crybabies, if you watch, because again, everybody sees the soundbite about the Cody Crybabies. The very next thing he said was, "This is what I love about the business. We can go in and create these moments and say these things. And even though I'm a nice guy, I can play whatever." That's what he said right after that Cody Crybabies line. So he broke kayfabe literally in the next
minute. Yeah,
but. If you just watch just the product and don't go with all the outside stuff, kayfabe seems to be slightly there.
Because I look at it when Paul Heyman was on First Take himself, it seemed like he never broke it. He never.
He and Roman don't break. He and Roman during the Tribal Chief thing didn't break. Even when they had that little press conference after WrestleMania, after the first night, Roman stayed in character and kicked some of the reporters out because they wouldn't acknowledge him as Tribal Chief.
Yeah.
So it just depends. It's person to person. Rock is one of those guys that transcends the business. Okay. So everybody knows he's a character versus Roman. Yeah, it's known that he's also a character, but on screen, he's that guy. He's the Tribal Chief. He doesn't, whatever. So it goes both ways, honestly. Preem has brought up the downside of episode-to-episode content creation is the speculation sometimes can lead to prognosticators being upset when a show doesn't adhere to their headcanon. Okay, that's true.
I love that,
but that's their problem.
Yeah, that their problem is they let their speculation and their theories. I guess it is that type of stuff has given rise to what we see permeating the fandom everywhere now. Everyone's got a take, and it doesn't matter really what the content of the actual movie is. All they care about is whether they were right or whether they were wrong, right? People make these anticipatory hate videos for products that haven't even come out yet.
No, of course.
Just say like, oh, it's woke. It's gonna be terrible. Like they've done it to Star Wars Outlaws. They're doing it to Stellar Blade. They're doing it to anything under the sun. If it's getting ready to come out and it falls under the genre umbrella, there's going to be some kind of derising, hate video coming out of it, or an MCU. Like, okay, case in point, I saw a post on Facebook earlier today talking about how Sydney Sweeney is going to be going to be Felicia Hardy in the MCU. Nobody's talking about that. Only the speculators are. They're the only ones doing this, right? But because they put it out there, it becomes a constantly never-ending cycle where they feed misinformation to people that don't know any better, that they're basically just bullshitting around. And then when it comes out not to be true, then they're mad because something that somebody hyped them up on doesn't end up coming to pass. I hate that about current culture. I really can't stand it.
I mean, hey, Grifter's got to eat too. Zoltar the Magnificent. Storm is always my favorite leader, but Cyclops is great. It's not an easy pick depending on certain arcs. That's why I liked Uncanny X-Men and X-Men, Blue Team and Gold Team.
You got both. You have both.
Yeah, like my favorite team was Blue Team though. I didn't really like Cyclops as a character. I appreciated him later on down the line, but back during that Jim Lee run, Blue Team had all of my favorite characters on it.
Yes, it did.
So
to answer Hans' question, no, I have not watched Coco.
So, and what I love about that, what I love about what he said,
okay.
What I love about what he said, especially and I like where X-Men 97 seemingly is taking us. I feel like, well, this show is giving everybody their shine. Like every single episode seems to be singularly dedicated to one character and giving them their moment to shine. First episode, you had Cyclops. Second episode, you had Magneto. Third episode, you had, I'm trying to remember who was it Jubilee? The third episode?
Jubilation.
Jubilee was 4.
Jubilee was 4. Who was the third episode? Yeah. Who got off on the third episode? I'm trying to remember.
That was Madeline Pryor thing was the third episode.
So will we say that
Senator.
that wasn't? I feel like that wasn't Jean's episode though.
Not
But
really. It was more
technically, I guess
Goblin Queen, more Goblin Queen Sinister.
more Goblin Queen stuff. Okay, yeah.
Jubilee's thing was 4 because she had the video game
Right.
that we want them to make. Actually,
Yep. And you got
of
half
course,
of Storm's.
Yep, the other half of that was Storm.
Mhm.
Storm got her thing done in the first episode as well. The whole,
That's true. The whole glass
Omega
thing,
level threat.
The Omega level threat
coming
yes.
in. Like,
yeah, that was
like, yeah.
So episode 5, I guess you could say, was Rogue and Gambit. Rogue and Gambit.
Oh yeah,
got
absolutely.
Off on theirs,
that was Gambit getting his flowers for being a badass
Right.
and how powerful he
man.
actually is.
Yeah.
Versus,
Yeah.
Everybody thinks playing cards. It's like, no, this man can charge anything.
Anything. Yes. Which honestly, great power set. I love the way that they actually showed him getting off, and way to not to be a toxic asshole, toxic masculinity dude. The way he handled that whole Magneto Rogue thing. Chef's kiss, beautiful stuff.
Yeah,
Great,
it was really
stuff.
well done.
Great stuff. But I say all that to say that I feel like this show is going to get us to where Cyclops is in the comics. That kick-ass, take no prisoners, leader of the X-Men. I don't give a damn about anybody, about human oppressors. Like he's more along like Magneto than anybody else on the X-Men, in my opinion. Right, especially when he became that mutant, the radical leader of the X-Men.
Yeah,
great shit.
Only person that hasn't gotten their time yet, and it's coming.
Wolverine.
Once Sabretooth and Wolverine have their episode, I guarantee you that's going to be one of the sickest things, because now they're going to really be able to cut loose and have them do stuff. They do that. This will be the best.
Happen.
So
I think it will.
Two. Right,
because think of how much they've already made it a little bit more mature than the cartoon.
Yes,
they curse lightweight
lightly.
cursing.
Yeah,
but
they off.
Yeah, damn hell every now and again. So
get out, you damn demon.
There's blood. That in and of itself already brings it above what the 90s cartoon was doing. I think they're going to let Wolverine and Sabretooth have their actual fight that we've all been waiting to see. It's not going to be like ripping off arms and nothing crazy. But I guarantee you, he'll finally cut something with his damn claws instead of getting his wrist grabbed and just.
And his claws will be bloody. His claws will be bloody. I'm looking forward to it.
That's if they make Wolverine a focus. I just have a strange feeling that
the focus of the episode.
I don't even think he's going to get a focus of an episode.
It's possible. But everybody else, just about everybody else has.
Agreed. And he might, but it just seems like that doesn't seem like it's
okay. Well, I guess we'll have to see. Technically, there's 3 people left. There's Wolverine, Beast, and Morph. They're the only ones left that haven't gotten their shine. Oh, I guess Bishop too.
Bishop was visiting.
I know, but true.
Man, Bishop was like, it's like,
all right, I'm out of here.
Home.
Yeah, I got.
I'm taking this baby with me.
Right. 100%. I'll drop him off somewhere, that type of thing. But yeah, no, that's that. I think I think we're getting Cyclops the way he is in the comic books, and I can't wait with that.
I know. I knew they were gonna do again. They set the tone as soon as Cyclops showed up and was using his optic blast to move around the room and
yes, good shit.
I was like, even video games haven't done that. I'm like, they're getting very creative. I'm like, I'm good with that. Even when he jumped out the plane, was like, all right, everybody else got a ride. I'm just gonna blast my way down. I thought that was good. I'm like, okay,
that was dope as hell. That was dope as hell. Hannah Omega, are they gonna hook Scott and Emma up? See, that's the other thing I think they're getting ready to do is the whole love triangle with Scott. Actually, more of it's a quadrangle now in a way. Scott, Emma, Jean, Logan. Possibly.
Scott better hope that Jean is just lost all interest in tapping into the Phoenix power. Now, granted, Emma Frost is also a telepath. She ain't Jean, though.
No, she's not.
But she's better looking than Jean. So.
Yep.
Yep. But no, good stuff. So, all right, it's after 10. We're getting, about time to wrap up the show. Unless there's anything else that anybody wants to talk about real quick, we'll let it breathe for a second.
Oh, I can show you guys what I was working on.
Oh, what you got?
Batman. This is the 1966. Batmobile.
Where's Robin? Where's Robin?
You don't get
Nobody-
Robin. You get Batman,
Yeah.
and you get he's Joker.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
all that
Okay.
matters.
I don't know where
Nobody
to put
like
him
Robin.
though.
Nobody liked Robin anyway.
Yeah, and he got a little thing on here
Hold on,
telling you a little bit about it.
That's cool. Here's what you do. You said you don't know where to put who? Him, the Joker?
The Joker.
Take one of the
Put him in the
wheels
car.
off and have him carrying the wheel and running away.
Yeah, I could put him because they
There
give
you
you this
go.
little.
That's
little
cool.
Oh,
thing,
the turntable. Okay.
That's
All right.
very cool.
That's kind of cool. Yeah,
That's nice.
you have him stand on top of something.
Real quick, Iguana Man said Marvel Animation is 2 for 2 right now. Okay.
Mhm. I don't know what the MCU has planned personally. I think a reboot would make the most sense since the MCU has acquired more characters since they started, but I want superior Iron Man. So a reboot does make sense if you're going to try and bring back characters that they foolishly let get killed off. Captain America, Iron Man.
Cap didn't die. He just got old.
Well, okay. Let die / retire. Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, so on and so forth. A reboot does make sense, but at the same time, I feel like they're not going to do that. I feel like they're not going to do that.
I wouldn't, only because a reboot just is cheap. Is because it's like, okay, here's what people have to remember. These actors are actors. They want to do roles, they want to do different jobs, and they age. We've been fans of these hand-drawn characters for all of these years that never age. Real people age. There's going to be points where it's like, look, you're not going to have Chris Hemsworth be Thor for the next 20 years. Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man for what? Since 2008 all the way up to 2018. And
he said he would love to come back too, just recently.
Well, that's because the first movie he did after the MCU bombed.
But then he won an Oscar.
Yeah.
No, he won an Oscar for what was Oppenheimer?
Yeah. Oppenheimer.
But yeah. So again, he's in a position where it's like they'll welcome him with open arms if he does want to come back. Absolutely. Scarlett, who knows, after that whole COVID thing and messing up her money, she might not want to come back. So they have to be realistic about, certain characters are going to die because the actor is not going to be available, or they're not going to be able to play the role anymore. Some people, unfortunately with Chadwick Boseman, he died. William Hurt died. Now they recast Hurt's character.
Yeah, and they should have recast Chadwick Boseman's character.
Well, here's the thing: they rebooted T'Challa's character, so
they shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done.
Well, whatever. Again, time will tell. We don't know. When it comes out, I guarantee you, I'll be sitting there watching it. But until then,
James Earl Jones is going to live forever. His
His voice, yes.
Absolutely.
His voice will live forever. Yes. Yes, it will. His voice will live forever. 100%.
Hand over Mega said we can have them playing these roles in their 80s. Absolutely not.
No, I think not, sir. No.
Everybody's going to be old then.
Exactly. So I don't mind them branching out and doing new stories. I don't need to see Iron Man 4. I don't need to see, Doctor Strange 6. It's like there's a bunch of characters. Start doing stuff with them. I don't care if all these grifters and various people don't like it or if they think it's woke or whatever. Get over it. This is 80 plus years of comic book histories that you're drawing from. You don't have to just stay in chapter 1.
Yeah, get it on. Let's see some more.
Yep,
indeed. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for the show today. I want to thanks to you for joining us on all the various platforms back there. We'll be back right here next week, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, for another great episode of Culture Junkies Live. For my friends, the great Adequji and GQ, I'm Kenshiro. We'll see you guys next week. Have a really, really good one. Stay safe out there.
All right, everybody. See you next year. Oh, no. Banana.
Next week. Next
week,
year. Bro. Not next
week. Yeah.
Next year.
I'm sorry. I've been up since 5 o'clock.
All right. Let's go to bed.
Yeah, I'm going to be